Hey everybody, I'm Shelly Danko Day, a food systems nerd with a passion for rethinking the way we eat. And this is With Bowl and Spoon, stories of food, community, and how our personal relationships with food grow and evolve. Your personal food evolution. I met today's guest in a roundabout way. I met her husband, Fred, at the Aspenwall Farmers Market. I was just chatting, and I mentioned that I used to run a juice shop myself and that I had a podcast. And before I could even finish the sentence, Fred lit up and said, "Oh my gosh, you got to talk to my wife." And let me tell you, this guy could not be more in awe of his wife. He gushed, really gushed about Sandi. Her resilience, her vision, her business, her cookbook. He talked about her like someone knows he got incredibly lucky. And I love that. I love when someone is so proud of their partner. Of course, I followed up, and I'm really glad I did. Sandi Kern is founder of Desire to Be Well Juicery. She's an integrative health practitioner and someone who has turned a deeply personal health journey into a thriving, joyful, and inclusive food business. Her story involves years of chronic inflammation, trial and error, elimination diets, and rebuilding not only her diet, but her life. What struck me most is how she's taken something so challenging, a constant negotiation with food, and turned it into something beautiful. Her shops are super fun too. They're bright, playful, and full of foods that people with allergies and sensitivities can eat without fear. I admire how Sandi has created community around juice and wellness with heart, humor, and a lot of dancing in the kitchen. This is a story about healing, love, entrepreneurship, and the joy of food that makes you feel good. Hope you enjoy. Welcome to With Bowl and Spoon, everybody. I am here with Sandi Kern from Desire to Be Well Juicery.
Yes.
Which is quite a name.
Yes. Yeah, Desire to Be Well is the name of my brand, my company, my coaching, and my book. And so this is the DTBW Juicery. Well, hi, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. I'm Sandi Kern, and I am an integrative nutrition and functional wellness coach, best-selling author, and juice maven to 3 different juiceries. So, we have 2 juiceries, one in Washington at the Shops at Quail Acres.
Which is where we are right now.
Where we are now, our little hobbit house.
This amazing little barn that you said was built in the 1800s?
1837.
Wow.
Yeah, as part of Quail Acres farm. And it's been turned into, 25 years ago, I believe, it was turned into a little country retail enclave where a lot of different businesses have, had their start and stuff. It's a cute little spot right in the middle of everything, but you feel like you're, out in the middle of the country. I have a little mobile juice trailer. She's a horse trailer that we converted into a food truck, and she is super cute. And that's where you met my husband, Fred. We had her at the farmer's market. And she attracts a lot of attention. People just, think, "Oh my gosh, she's the cutest thing ever." And so that's how that's all started. And then we opened our Quail Acre shop shortly thereafter. And just this February, we opened another shop in the health club at South Point. It's open to the public, but it's inside the Stealth Building Technology Drive in South Point.
Cool.
Yeah.
Just growing.
Yes, so I have to, put myself in check sometimes because I'm always raising the bar. But in 3.5 years, I wrote a best-selling book and opened 3 juiceries. So I've been a little crazy busy.
Yeah, that sounds like it. I mean, you wrote the entire book in that time, or did you just
it's when I published
finish it? Okay.
Published an international best-selling book and then opened boom, boom, boom. Juiceries.
Yeah, but you've been working on the book for a while.
During COVID.
That's,
year and a half.
Nice. Mm-hmm. Cool.
Yep. That's how I spent my time between that and, coaching my clients off, keeping them off the ledge.
Yeah, we were all. How were you not on the? Because you had to be there for others. That's how you kept yourself sane, I bet.
Yeah. I mean, I had to do some serious grounding. A lot of people did, and but the faith over fear, and just trying to keep people vibrations high, and anyway. But writing my book was the perfect time. I was in school for functional medicine, and at that point the world closed down, and I decided, what, I don't think I want to be a doctor. This biochemistry is so clinical, it was making me sad. So that's when I said, okay, boop, laptop down, go back into the kitchen, get my mojo back, and that's when I wrote my book. So anyway.
So functional medicine is like traditional medicine?
No, functional medicine helps you get to the root cause.
Okay, so that's what you do now.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
yeah.
So gotcha. Okay.
Yes. Yeah, I am not a doctor. I am a coach. So I went to the school for integrative nutrition and got my certifications, and then decided to put a little tooth to my coaching and get some science. And that's when I went to school for functional medicine, but was like, no, doctors, I don't want to look at lab results all day. I'm way too this, dangling carrots and, bright colors and juices and vibrant life, so.
Yes, I love the carrot garland. That's great.
I know.
So that's quite a lot of stuff that you did, and you put that together. But how did you end up there?
How did I get to that point?
How did you get
right?
there? Yeah.
Yeah. So probably 13, 14 years ago, I had an inflammatory condition that was so profound that it had gone to my organs, my muscles, and my nerves. And I was so swollen that my skin felt like it was going to pop. My joints were immobile. I could barely move, just in so much pain. I mean, the fibromyalgia, the irritable bowel, the chronic fatigue, the this, the that.
And all the
everything.
catchphrase things that, yeah.
You name it. I had that going on. Mm-hmm. And nobody could give me any answers. Back then, they were just kind of like, well, we don't know. Here, have some more steroids. We'll test you for lupus again. You must be allergic to yourself. I love that one. I was like, can I have my copay back, please? You did go to medical school, right? Yeah, okay. So that was what I was getting. I was sort of on this hamster wheel of, in and out of the ER with anaphylactoid symptoms, swelling, being so immobile. It was hard for me to walk. My kids had to help me get dressed. My boys were 8 and 11 at the time. It was really traumatic for them to see their mom, who they, loved and looked up to, slowly losing her mobility. And
was it just the three of you?
My husband traveled like 4 or 5 days out of the week.
Wow.
So it was just the three of us most of the time.
So they had to be your helpers.
Yeah. And it was hard. Like I said, my kids had to help me get dressed and walk, and it was tough times. I talk about this in my book, in my little section about my story, because most of us health coaches or people that are in the health industry, we have a story, right? And that's why we're talking. So my story was from pain to purpose to passion, and so the pain part, the boys were so sweet, and Trevor would cover me with a blanket on the couch and give me a drink of water and kiss me and tell me he loved me. And, Jack, being the older brother, would come in and he said, hey, quit crying. We're going to figure this out and you're going to be well. Like, he believed that his mom was going to get better. And that was the impetus. That was the strength that I needed to, look for my answers and realize, like, hey, you know what? We're going to figure this out. And I'm going to be back to, wellness. And, boy, did I bounce back. So it was very successful. So
then you started drinking juice and you were better like that.
Yeah, lots of. Yeah, there was a point where I started to believe that I could be well. I found other influencers that were in debilitating health issues, and they healed their bodies through nutrition, and that gave me the spark, the hope that I could find my answers too. That, and of course, cheeky Jack, my son. And so that was exciting. To think that, we are going to find answers. There's people getting answers through nutrition. I'm going to look in this direction. And a girlfriend of mine was like, hey, you really need to go see this integrative physician. I think he could probably pinpoint what's going on with you. And, I had gone to every doctor at ER and this and specialists and clinics, and nobody could give me any answers. So I thought, well, I'll give this a try. And, of course, scheduling these appointments was, months and months and months and months out. And that was sort of disheartening at that point. Like, here I am in so much pain, and this doctor, probably got some answers for me, and I have to wait 6 months. What else we got? So there was, okay, I'll either go have my muscles biopsied up in Pittsburgh, or, wait for Dr. Gallagher. But there was a miracle appointment that opened up. There was a cancellation. They called me, and it was the same day that I had my appointment at the University of Pittsburgh.
So you were
I couldn't
right
do
there.
both. No, I couldn't do both.
Oh,
I couldn't. I had to pick. And so I chose to go, the faith over fear, into the integrative realm, even though I was terrified. I didn't know what this witchery was or whatever, because back then it was considered woo-woo, and I didn't quite understand.
When was this?
This was about 14 years ago.
Okay. And so what were they saying was possibly wrong with you?
Oh, multiple autoimmune things, fibromyalgia, we'll test you for lupus, all of these different, things that they believed what was going on. I did have Lyme's disease, and I still do have Lyme's. So we have chronic Lyme's.
Wow.
So I finally got that diagnosed, but that doesn't help things.
So it sounds like I think lupus is an inflammatory condition,
yes.
right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So it was all
but
about
it's
inflammation.
multi-organ failures, and skin issues, and all kinds of fun things.
And were you having the multi-organ thing?
Oh yeah,
so
all of that. But it would never come back definitive one way or the other. They were just really hoping that they was going to have some sort of a terrible diagnosis to be the cause of all of this. So I went.
And also have a treatment once you diagnose something.
Right.
You have a course of action at least, but no luck with that.
So anyway, I had to make a choice. So I chose to go with the integrative physician. Of course, he gets everyone that's spit out from the medical system. And so he knew exactly what was going on. He ordered all the proper testing, and when the results came back, my husband cried, because I kept telling him, honey, I'm sick. I'm really, I'm not making this up. And, he didn't quite understand. And, he played along, but he didn't quite understand until these test results came back, and he just cried. He was like, oh my God. He's like, I'm so sorry, honey. Like, you really are suffering. You're not making this up. And I'm like, yeah, no, not making this up. And so what I needed to do, we came up with a plan, and that was to, heal my gut. Well, first you had to get the inflammation down. So I had to remove and eliminate the things that were, triggering this, and of course, when you have a condition called enhanced intestinal permeability, which the more common name thrown around these days is leaky gut. And people go, ew, leaky gut, wow, what is that? That sounds really gross, But what it is, in your small intestine, in your digestive tract, it's one cell thick between the inside and the outside. And it's very, very easy to get a disruption in that barrier. And once you get that disruption, you get little separations where you're leaking undigested proteins directly into your bloodstream, creating this cascade of histamine reactions that, unchecked becomes chronic, and then it becomes opportunistic. So it'll go to where you're weak. Some people get it in their joints, the rheumatoid arthritis factors. Some people get the nerve thing with the fibromyalgia. Some people get the irritable bowel and the inflammatory bowel diseases and things. A lot of that, the origin is enhanced intestinal permeability, otherwise known as leaky gut. So that's how that all happened. So eliminated my favorite foods that were my biggest offenders, because if you're eating these things, of course, you're getting those into your system. And it's
were
not
those-
like a peanut allergy or a shellfish allergy, where it's an immediate reaction. Those are allergic reactions. This was a delayed reaction food sensitivity. So there's a big difference. I know allergists, immunologists, they don't like to acknowledge it. At least back then they didn't. Maybe they've come around nowadays, but food sensitivities are real. And that's what creates this massive, histamine inflammatory thing. And it's always your favorite stuff that you're eating. So, and you never know, because it takes 2 or 3 days for your system to react. So
the cause and the correlation wasn't there.
no, and it's really hard to pinpoint what it is. So I always trust the serum test to check the IgG levels and see how you're doing with all that. But it's the there's a difference between the allergies and sensitivities. I go into that in great detail in my book, so that people can educate themselves on all of that. So anyway, testing came back that of course everything that I was eating, the gluten, the dairy, the avocados, eggs, egg whites, squashes, beans, all of these healthy things, almonds, because that was what I was eating. So we had to put the fire out by eliminating all of those foods for a time, for your body to settle down. Your body can't heal if it's on fire. So the step number 1 is to, eliminate those inflammatory foods so that it gives your body a chance to catch its breath and go, okay, we put that fire. There's no more fires to put out. Now we can heal. And that's when you go into the nutrition and the healing of the gut. And that's, how I ended up, within a year, regaining vibrant health through dietary modifications and healing my gut. And
That's fantastic. I mean, it's remarkable. When you were talking about the foods you had to eliminate, it sounded like you eliminated every food group. So what were you left with being able to eat while you detoxed from that stuff?
I know, right? I always would laugh. I'd say, my life's an episode of Chopped.
You didn't mention meat, but I'm assuming meat has some inflammatory.
Beef.
So, yeah, okay.
No beef. So
But
it was a
you're
chicken, turkey, yeah, what did I used to say? I forget. Chicken, turkey, pork.
So any vegetables? I mean,
yeah,
I guess.
a
Okay.
lot of vegetables. Oh yeah, I mean you can.
I'm assuming you'd have to get rid of onions and garlic, or no?
It wasn't on my list.
Oh, okay.
So they
right,
were
cool.
not offending me, but it was a lot to change, and so I lived on chicken and broccoli for a long time, until I finally was like, oh well, you know what? I am not going to stress about this anymore. I'm not going to sit on the sidelines poo-hooing my situation, wringing my hands. Life is too short. I am going to figure this out. I would start craving things. How am I going to make that? Who doesn't love a luscious, rich, creamy, dreamy pasta sauce, right? I was like,
And the pasta.
and the pasta too, right? You're like, what am I going to do?
Because you're now gluten free, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
oh yeah, and so gluten and dairy were my biggest offenders. Those were the two that I really, they were the screaming off the charts. And they were, of course, my favorite things, macaroni and cheese and cheesy pasta and cheese on everything and breads and pastas and everything. Yeah, so
come on back.
Come on back. I decided, what? This is baloney. I am too happy of a lady. I am not going to sit here and be sorry for myself. I'm going to figure this out. I'm creative. Let's go. And so that's when I figured out, okay, I'm going to make a cream sauce. How am I going to do this? I'm going to research a little bit here and I'm going to figure this out. And it did. And I came up with this cashew coconut cream sauce, and made it red pepper version. And it came out so silky and so rich and delicious. And I served it. I said, Fred, I did it. My husband's Fred. I said, Fred, I did this. And he was like, oh my gosh, Sandy, this is amazing. And I was like, I know. I can live now.
You finally had some food you could eat.
But I want that I really wanted, you
Yeah.
know? And I was like, okay, now I'm good. Now I think I'm going to live. And that's how it all evolved. Anything that I started to crave or wanting, being a woman of a certain age, I've had a whole lifetime of food and things to, have a hankering for. And so that's how my book came to be, as I redid all of my favorite foods, but all in a healthier way, all gluten and dairy free. And people were amazed at how, delicious they are. And that's how, the recipes, all my little dog-eared stained recipes, all collected together. And I put it together in my book. And it's like the backbone of my business now, because a lot of the things that I have in my book, I use in my restaurants. So, and people just every day, oh my gosh, this is the best thing ever. I never get tired of hearing that.
So everything that you serve here at the restaurant and at your other shop, you can eat.
Yeah.
Personally, it's something that you've developed that is gonna not contribute to any sort of inflammatory situation in one's body.
No, I do use prosciutto. You don't want to eat prosciutto all the time. It's a cured meat, but it's also, I get it from a lovely source. I get it from Pennsylvania Macaroni Company. This is like the Italian grocery store of Italian grocery stores. It's really very high quality. But yeah, we do a fig and pig pizza, and we do breakfast Sammys. It's all your favorite food done in a healthier way. My philosophy on my restaurants, well, of course, everything is gluten and dairy free. So this is a safe place for people that have autoimmune issues, like myself, digestive issues, their kids, maybe they have sensory issues, or they're autistic, or, have celiac disease, or have any kind of sensitivity or behavior issues. I'm your place. You can come here. It's very inclusive, so nothing is special or different. Everything just is gluten and dairy free, and it's all amazingly delicious, whether you need to eat gluten or dairy free or not. So everybody can come in and have pizza, a breakfast Sammy, a this or that, have a waffle on a stick. We do Be Well waffles on a stick.
We had those. We had them.
Yeah, that's right. You had them at the farmer's market. Yeah, Fred took it on the road. But yeah, so it's a very inclusive place for families, so that they don't have to feel self-conscious or stress. Like, no, everything's, even my sprinkles are dye-free.
Oh, wow. Okay.
I take great care in choosing my ingredients so that everything is safe and the healthiest, fun version that, it can be.
So do you have regular customers who have found you, and then, once, I'm sure there's a certain level, like when you have all these things, you have to keep double checking with places. So have you had customers that come in and sort of double check and establish that, oh yes, I can eat everything, this is good, and then this is like the only place they come to eat? I can imagine that.
Absolutely. Oh yeah. We have people that just are big fans. We're 5 stars for a reason. People love us, and they come in, and their kids love it. It's such a friendly, welcoming place that they can put their guard down, they can relax, they can be kids. We have a patio, we have they can feed the fish, we have a little fish pond, they can run and be free and eat waffles and be happy and not be afraid. It doesn't have to be kale salad, people. It's okay. You can have fun food if you do it in a healthier way. Another philosophy that I have is, like, you can have all the knowledge, right? And you can be on that one side of the street screaming, hey, you guys need to eat healthy. Who you're trying to reach is on the other side of the street, right? And they're all like, no, it's weird, I'm scared. And 9 times out of 10, they're not going to try it or take that step, right? Because it's weird, I'm scared, it's different. And so I try to meet people in the middle and provide them with fun food that's done all in with healthier ingredients. And if they can feel better, then they can realize, like, oh, maybe I will look into this a little further and discover their own path to their wellness.
Once you realized you were having issues and you eliminated everything, was that an easy choice to make?
Well, you mean to change my diet?
To stop eating everything except broccoli and chicken?
Oh yeah. I was near death. I was desperate, and I knew that I had to, if I was going to heal, I had to be compliant.
And you trusted that these doctors, what did they see that you were just like, obviously you know what you're doing.
Just their years of success.
Okay.
With people that, the unusual illnesses that people, at that point, was not a traditional diagnosis.
So you coming in there, they were just like, oh yeah, we've seen this.
We know exactly
what it is. Okay, yeah. So you were an easy case for them, and they're like, okay, just do this.
Yeah, well, I mean, after the proper, they knew the proper testing to do for me, because it is a very individual thing. There's not a one-size-fits-all remedy for anyone. It's a holistic, which means, treating the whole person, the mind, body, and spirit. And that's what I do in my coaching, too. I don't do meal plans and all that kind of stuff. I kind of, work with the client to figure out, where they want to go food-wise, health-wise, what are their goals, how their life factors in, their stressors, their traumas, the whole person, what's going on in their life. Because when I talk about it in the beginning of my book, there's primary and secondary foods. Primary foods are the foods that feed your life, right? So these are, the things that are going on in your world. Secondary foods are the foods you feed yourself. But the primary foods, because it doesn't matter how clean or pure your diet is, or, if you're sourcing your flaxseed from some Tibetan monk under a full moon, or, there's some people that are very obsessed with purity. And that's a whole other conversation.
And there's microplastics in every
corner of the planet. Can really go down the rabbit hole easily. Yeah. But anyway, so it doesn't really matter how pure, clean your diet is if the other areas in your life are out of balance. Because that's what's really important. Because even with this perfect diet, I have other things that are not going, you're not including other things in your life, then you're not going to have that wellness that you want. So, and I, was under so much stress that there's what's called RT3 dominance, and that has to do with your thyroid. Reverse T3 is a sort of checks and balances for your thyroid. Well, mine was so elevated that because of my health emergency, that it was actually blocking absorption of my perfectly functioning thyroid. Because I would feel like I had hypothyroidism. So if anybody's out there is like, oh, I think I have hyperthyroidism, and my tests keep coming back normal, and they'll be just like they were with me. Your thyroid's fine, honey, put the fork down. It was like, hey, something is wrong metabolically with me. I need help.
What does hyperthyroidism look like? What are those?
Oh, it's weight gain, exhaustion, your hair, the skin, it's a metabolic shutdown. Okay. And the fatigue, the exhaustion, a lot of those factor into that.
But they test your thyroid and it was fine, and they're just like, oh, you just have to get more willpower.
Yeah, exactly. And what it was yes, my body was producing the thyroid hormone, it was in my blood or whatever, but my cells weren't receiving it because of the health emergency. So my RT3 was elevated, and my cells just were not accepting that life-giving thyroid that I needed. So it was as if I was hypothyroid, but it was actually hypometabolism. And that was also adding to the distress and, sickness. So there's so many things, so many factors that go into wellness that, that's why I try to treat the whole person. And even in the book, we talk about, there's a whole section on life balancing and, ways to incorporate all of the special things in your life, making sure if you put all your focus in one area, all these other areas are going to suffer. And there are things that are really important: your relationships, your exercise, your water, your sleep, your joy, your hopes and dreams. I don't believe in goals. I think goals are finite. I think everybody does better with hopes and dreams. That way you just, you have no limits that way. So that's a 3-part book. So you have My Story to Wellness, Gut Health, Functional Gut Health. You get the Lifestyle Balancing, the Wellness Wheel, and then 95 gluten and dairy-free recipes. All created with your cravings in mind.
accepted the elimination diet. And how long did you do that for?
Well, after about 6 months or so, you can start to try to, reintroduce some of these
And that's when you made the cashew coconut pasta sauce. Yeah. Pasta.
That was sort of the same time period. I was like, okay, I don't have to be so freaked out. I don't have to be so scared. I can, take this to the next level here. Let's see how I've done. How well have I healed, And so some things I could reintroduce without any, itching, inflammation, hives, this, that, whatever, I'd go into anaphylaxis sometimes where my tongue would swell just out of the blue. And just
Did you have an EpiPen?
Well, this was before I knew anything.
Oh my gosh.
And I'd have to, my girlfriend would be like, run to get the Benadryl, But again, 2 or 3 days. Didn't know when I ingested something that would trigger this, and it was a nightmare. But anyway, back to reintroducing foods. So if I had issues where I felt like I just wasn't feeling good after eating it, I would try one thing at a time. So there's an elimination diet, but I kind of cheated with the serum testing, because the serum will come back and kind of give you a blueprint on what things could be triggering. It's not 100% science here, but it does give you a little roadmap to help you get started, because you could spend your whole life on an elimination diet trying to figure out, like, oh, it's cumin or it's this, or so you get a comprehensive test that really covers everything, and then it gives you an idea of what things are being triggered. So I was able to reintroduce avocados, thankfully.
Oh, phew.
Thankfully, because I was, really upset about that one. And it took me 8 years to be able to reintroduce eggs.
Oh, wow.
8 years. So, I tried, and then I would have an issue. Like my ankle would get all swollen or something. Or, around Easter, we'd always have all the hard-boiled eggs around, and I love egg salad. It's one of my favorite things. And so we would have, egg salad, or I would try a little bit, or maybe have, eggs at breakfast, and, bad news. So it took me 8.5 years. It was awful. And so now I can have them, 3-4 times a week, and I'm great. I could bake with them. I just couldn't sit and eat like a plate of eggs.
Oh, interesting.
So it wasn't like a severe allergy where I couldn't have anything baked with it, or it was just I limited my exposure, but couldn't have like just regular eggs.
But you had the confidence to get creative in the kitchen and create that meal that you were craving. So where did that come from? Did you cook as a kid, or how did you? Yeah,
it's funny. I did. I was a latchkey kid, so I had to kind of, cook my after school snacks and food, and I had fun cooking in the kitchen. And I had an ex-husband. My ex-husband told me that I didn't know how to cook, don't even bother, and made me feel terrible about me enjoying cooking. And I met my current husband, Fred, almost 30 years ago. And I know it's crazy to say 30 years. And he and I would cook together, and I got my cooking confidence back, through his encouragement. And so...
Just love Fred.
Yeah.
Damn.
I know. He's so awesome.
He admires you so much, too. Like,
I know.
when he was telling me about you, and he was just like, you gotta talk to it. You gotta talk to it. And I was like, okay.
Yeah, he's my biggest fan, or what I say now is he's my main squeeze with the juicery. But yeah, we'd get the music on, we'd have a couple drinks, and we used to live in Baltimore City, and we would go to the Cross Street Market, and I'd meet him after work, and we would shop at the inner city market, go to all the different stalls and get all of our ingredients, and have a couple drinks, and make our way home, and then listen to music and cook, and it was an event. Like every meal was fun, and I was able to get my cooking confidence back through Fred's love and encouragement. So yeah, that was how that all started. And he loves to cook. I mean, he's won cooking contests and stuff, and he's
really?
Yeah, he's a great cook.
Like local
Yeah.
things.
Yeah,
Cool.
the men's culinary cook-off. The South, what is it? It was Community Action Southwest had a men's culinary cook-off, and it was amateur and professional chefs. And our son Trevor won one year.
Oh, cool.
That was fun. He won the best overall dish for his birthday cake ice cream. That was a long time ago. But we had the all-clad trophy and stuff. But yeah, Fred, he won the chili, the best chili. And
So is it Fred Kern?
Fred
Is that who
Kern.
we're looking for?
Yeah.
Chef Fred Kern.
He's a hoot. We call him the Waffle King. He's got a hoodie. We have the Waffle King on there.
Oh, cool.
I'm the Juice Queen. He's the Waffle Queen or Waffle King.
Oh, that's great.
It's fun. But yeah, we met in Baltimore, and he had gone to Wash High, so he has his roots here, and we met in Maryland, and then he would bring me here every year to visit friends for a crab and charity golf tournament and crab party.
Wait.
Yeah.
That's a lot of pressure.
Yeah.
That he must have had real confidence in that crab event to bring you from Maryland
Uh-huh.
to Washington County, Pennsylvania to enjoy crabs. How'd that go over?
I know, it was crazy. So I taught a lot of these, the Western Pennsylvanians how to open crabs.
You came and you got to work.
I got to work, and
You taught him a thing or two.
I fell in love with the area. I fell in love with the people, and they were so kind and welcoming. And we had so much fun. I just said, after a couple of years, I was like, Fred, if work ever brings you back out here, I would move in a minute. I love it. So it was by choice that we live here.
Oh, that's really cool. So, did you grow up in the city of Baltimore?
No, I grew up in Baltimore County,
Okay.
in the Towson-Timonium area, in the
Okay.
suburbs. And Fred had a house downtown, and we met at a party. It's a cute story. His sister's godmother invited me to this party, and her husband talked him into coming to that party as well. So they were both influential in bringing us together.
Were they conspiring?
No,
Oh, okay.
no, not at all. And, Fred's dad was like, hey, you're in the same boat as my son. And I said, oh, yeah? He said, you're right over there. I punched him in the shoulder. I said, you going to introduce us or what? Freddie, get over there and talk to that girl. Cute story. But, yeah, so the rest is history with that. And he got me over the cooking phobia, and we've been cooking all, the kitchen is for dancing. We have a whole chapter called This Kitchen is for Dancing. And, when I was sick, the kitchen was a scary place because we didn't understand, what was going on. So all that joy that we had was kind of dampened a little bit until we found out what was going on. And once the cooking freedom came back, because I, was like, again, I am not going to sit around and, be sad about this. I'm going to use this as an opportunity and expand. And so my creativity came through, and so international best-selling author of a cookbook. Hello.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, it is. So overcoming all that too,
How long was
Being
that
afraid.
period of time that you were not well?
Oh, probably 3 or 4 years.
Okay.
Yeah, it was a long time to be sick and not having any answers, and nobody could give me anything to hold on to. No hope, nothing. Just
Did you try pharmaceuticals, or was there any sort of? Was there everything?
It was mostly steroids, just to
Okay.
get that inflammation down. And water pills and
And did
steroids and things.
any of that work?
I mean, it was all a temporary fix.
Okay.
And those are little Band-Aids. But what it ended up doing was it ended up giving me necrosis of the bone in my hip.
Man.
Yeah. And early onset cataracts. Because that happens when you take a lot of steroids and things like that.
Man.
You have structural issues because it does damage your body. Steroids are not your friend. They are necessary and very vital and important for short-term use, but not as a solution to any health issues. It's just that we don't know what's wrong here. Take this. This will make it better today. And so, anyway, overcoming all of that. And then, I get my health back, but then I have, again, structural issues and repercussions from some of those pharmaceuticals. So, try to be as clean as I can. But again, I really, in the beginning, once I woke up and realized all of this stuff was going on, and when you find out about your shower curtain liner, you're this, you're that, all these exposures to chemicals and toxins and the endocrine disruptors and everything that's upsetting and damaging your body, it's very scary.
It really is.
And then
we don't want to go there right now. Right. No.
you go down a rabbit hole.
Resist, Sandy. Resist.
Yeah, and you see a podcast or this or that, of somebody who's really passionate about parasites or something like that, and you get really freaked out.
But one thing at a time.
One thing at a time.
You can only tackle maybe two things, but maybe dairy and gluten at the same time. But just pace yourself.
Molecular mimicry. So if this is what I learned, one of the things I gleaned from functional medicine school was if you're sensitive to one, you're sensitive to both. Your body sees them as
dairy
the same.
And gluten?
Dairy and gluten.
Interesting.
And even though they're completely different, your body gets confused and sees them as the same. So that was one of the things I was like, what? Wow. Okay, so if you have, some people will say, oh, I'm lactose intolerant. When they realize and recognize that they have an issue with dairy. It's usually the casein, which is the protein, not the sugar lactose, but it's so, and they need to think about giving up the gluten as well. This isn't a trend, it's not a fad, this is legit. It damages your body, and so does dairy.
So if someone does have celiac, the fact that they are lactose intolerant is very common. That's natural. I know. And then
right?
Is that what you're saying?
Yes, exactly. And I see all these, gluten-free pizzas with cheese all over them. And I'm like, who is doing your research? People, if you go gluten and dairy-free, you'll feel exponentially that much better. So, it's just one of those things. And any holistic doctor, any functional medicine, will tell you. Even psychologists, big city psychologists, that have the cutting edge information, will, before they diagnose anyone, will have them go gluten and dairy free before they do any diagnosis, because it does affect your gut and connection to your brain, and that can create horrible anxiety and depression and brain fog and all of these other issues. And you could be perfectly fine. You just need to change your diet.
Well, what do you say to people who are like, look, I couldn't just eat broccoli and chicken for the rest of my life. I couldn't do that. Happiness is a really important thing for me, but they're miserable. So I guess just do it. Suck it up.
I have created recipes and a way of eating that is so satisfactory. I don't miss a beat. I don't. Everything that I want, everything that I crave, I've been able to recreate in a way that's, not going to inflame my body. It's not going to make me sick. And it can be done. It's just learning how to use this ingredient instead of that ingredient. And, it is food. It's just food. Food can be, you can have a different, but your health is what's important, your family. There was a young lady that I knew that had Crohn's disease when she was, middle school, was diagnosed with Crohn's disease. And this was back when I had first had my health diagnosis. I was on the other side, feeling better, getting healthier, learning more. And I said, have you ever thought about changing her diet? Just eliminating the gluten, see how that helps her. Oh no, her doctor wants her to be a normal child and eat pizza and noodles with her friends. And I'm like, yeah, but she had a third of her colon removed and lost a year of school. Is that normal? That blew me away. eat another kind of noodle.
Rice noodles.
Right, yeah.
They're bean noodles. Yeah.
Right. You know what I mean? Like, but
Corn
having
noodles.
major,
Gross.
and a suitcase full of drugs that she has to take.
Yeah.
She missed almost a whole year of school. Third of her colon removed. Major surgery. You know.
Were you able to talk her into?
Nope.
Oh, well, I wonder where she is.
She's under
today.
a doctor's care.
Where is she now? You don't see her anymore?
No.
Okay.
But, I mean, I have, but, you know, she still has her health issues and stuff. But, you know, now as an adult, she recognizes that, you know, the conversation was out of love and care, you know.
Oh, for sure.
I
Yeah,
wasn't
no,
trying to
it's-
be a know-it-all or anything like that. And
It's
I
really
certainly-
hard to not, like, want to help someone that you see is clearly suffering. Especially when you've had the big
When they're
epiphany and you were
kids.
there.
Yeah.
And particularly kids, yes.
Yeah. So,
There's a lot. I mean, you wrote this for a reason, and hopefully it's helped a bunch of people. So
it has. I mean,
Great.
it really is reaching people. And, you know, I write on the back here, you know, I said, I wish I'd had this cookbook and wellness guide when I first started my journey back to health. It would have saved me from so much needless stress and anxiety over my dietary and lifestyle changes. Right? Changing the way of eating has been it's been more than life altering. It's been transformational for my entire family. Learn how to prepare your favorite foods and healthier swaps. No need to cheat because every recipe is created with your cravings in mind. Right? So,
yeah, that's great.
You know, that's kind of the whole philosophy behind the whole thing.
A great
It's
philosophy.
Really,
Yeah.
It was fun. And so I ended up as an accidental restaurateur. You know, for experiential marketing, you know, with COVID and everything was done virtually. You know, the world, you know, was Zoomed. Everything was Zoom. So, you know, once things opened up, I wanted to do something, you know, a little more personal. So decided to do the horse trailer restoration and conversion into the food truck. And
when did you open that?
that was 2 years ago, August.
Oh.
So coming up August 2nd, it'll be 2 years. That's our anniversary. We did open up on our anniversary, which was fun.
Oh, wait, on your wedding anniversary?
Wedding anniversary,
Oh,
yeah.
that's fantastic.
So we always remember. So that's how we spent our
Remember
anniversary.
one or the other, but remember.
Yes, exactly, yeah. So we did that, and then, I mean, really quickly, we had some fans of the juice, and they were like, look, we have this awesome space here at Quail Acres. We would love to have you come in. And I took one look, and I said, this is perfect for a juicery. I love it. Let's do it. And, okay, hon, let's go. You know, fist bump. And off we were. And then last fall, I was approached by another local business owner who had kind of been checking me out, like finding like, hey, this girl's, you know, hustling. She's working really hard. She's got a really great thing. People love her following. She, you know, she needs to take this to the next level. And there's another, you know, location I want you to take a look at. And I took one look. I said, let's go.
Is it about the same size as this?
Yeah. Yeah, so
That's
a
great.
nice intimate space, but it's you know, it's up at the health club at South Point, which is fun. Anyway, so here we are, and you know, our menu just keeps expanding. You know, Chelsea, my part timer, we were yucking about having to add new things to the menu because we just keep coming up with new flavor combinations, more fun ways to make people happy, and you know, drink something that's really healthy, but, you know, looks fun. Like our Thin Mint protein smoothie shake. It's not just a protein shake. It's not just a smoothie. It's both. So you're getting like multiple levels of bioavailable protein that, you know, you absorb differently, and, you know, you get the full Monty on those. And they're so popular, but you got to make them fun. So we have a Chunky Monkey, we have the Thin Mint, we have, you know, strawberry beet banana.
Yeah, I really love the dynamics between you two, and the drink that she had, it kind of looked like it was a blue liquid, and it had like confetti in it. It looked like a party in a cup.
It was like a party in a
that
cup,
one?
yeah.
That's a new one, right?
Yep. Well, I just figured, I was like, we have all this blue spirulina, and we use it in a drink called the Ocean Blue, but it's, you know, it's a cucumber drink. So it has a green base to it. So when you add the blue to it, it looks like the ocean, like a blue-green, you know, and that's one of our top drinks. And, you know, the kids, they'll shriek, I want my blue drink. You know, they love that. And I thought, okay, I know when I add the butterfly pea flower powder, which is the blue matcha tea, to lemonade, it turns purple. You get this royal purple drink, which is really fun. And then I thought, well, let's see what happens when you add the blue spirulina. Well, of course, it's like blue lagoon. This bright,
it's gorgeous,
and it's beautiful. And then she decided to make it very patriotic, and she put strawberry chunks in it, so it was like blue and red polka dotted drink. But yeah, we have a lot of fun.
It looked like confetti. I loved it.
It does. It looks like confetti. Yeah.
So
sure. We have a lot of fun. We have all of this healthy, beautiful produce at our disposal. It's like how we came up with our hula mobster pizza. We're like, we love Hawaiian pizza, and the hula mobster.
Oh, it's on here.
And, yeah. So it's and we have prosciutto and we have pineapple. So let's, and it's not,
That's great.
The most Hawaiian pizza has ham, right?
Mm-hmm.
So this is an Italian ham.
Mm-hmm.
So we call it instead of the hula monster, it's the hula mobster. The hula, like the Hawaiian with the pineapple. Anyway, so we came up with those fun things. It's like we have all this stuff. Let's go. Let's get really creative and make, again, the healthy, fun food that brings people joy. It makes people feel good. They come in a bad mood or having a rough day. They leave elated and joyful, and their body feels good, and they're like, what happened? DTBW Juicery happened. We grab everybody and make them feel special and wanted and included, and they can have their fig and pig pizza and their butterfly lemonade,
hula mobster, yeah,
the hula mobster,
it's fantastic.
And have fun. So yeah, it's become a passion project, the whole juicery thing, and it's really gaining a lot of momentum, and people really love what we're doing. They love the food. It's hard to find a juice bar nowadays. A lot of places, they're bottling, and there's juices, in a case kind of thing. But these are all made to order. If you want a little extra ginger, you want to add some turmeric to it, you want to, a little squirt of this, or, we can customize your drinks.
Yeah, it's not the same. So I really admire that you guys do that right here. And is that your juicer right there? You just put the thing on there?
Yeah. We have the commercial juicers. We use the Breville ones. They're,
That's great. I admire
they're steady.
I know it takes a lot of energy and a lot of effort, and there's a lot of cleanup that happens, and you don't do it all at the same time, and there's time. I get it, but I admire that you have kept to the standard way of doing it. Yes.
There's nothing that tastes like a fresh juice. Like I made you, Chelsea made you a zinger, the carrot, apple, ginger. I mean, that is just the quintessential, base juice. So good.
I'll give you a recipe for Christmas time. Cran apple ginger.
Ooh.
It was my husband's favorite. I would make cranberry, apples, and ginger. Obviously, apple ginger.
Yeah. we made a jingle juice.
Jingle juice. What was in that?
Very similar.
Was it apple ginger?
It had cranberries and lime.
Okay.
And apple and ginger and pineapple, I believe. Yeah. And people would drink that, and they're like, okay, how do we create this? Or we have to come up with a different name so we can have this all year round,
Well, I just gave my recipes away in the name. Apple ginger.
Oh, yeah, but the cranberries, getting fresh cranberries and juicing them, it's fun to put them in the juicer because they bounce. You put them in, you have to put your hand over really quickly because they go, and they're flying everywhere. I'm sure we'll find petrified cranberries under everything around here once we deep clean, but it's
and the ginger fibers get stuck. You have to take it apart after you do ginger.
There's a lot of maintenance. Yeah. There's a lot of maintenance involved,
but so good and so
worthwhile. It really is, because food is love, food is medicine, and that's the running theme in my book. Is that you can heal your body, because the ultimate act of love is to feed your body what it needs to thrive, and that's the name of the game, is to thrive. And there's not a one size fits all recipe for everyone. Just be intuitive, listen to your body. If you eat something and it makes you feel really good inside, even spiritually, you'll feel it and be like, wow, I really feel good when I eat this. Then you have your answers. So that's sort of how I try to lead people to, find what makes them feel good, because that's the name of the game. Is you just want to feel good and have a long, healthy, wonderful life.
Yeah, and I mean, food is everything, I think. But...
Absolutely.
So I wanted to ask you about your sourcing and also the other products that you have in your shop, which is a lot of local stuff that I recognize.
Mm-hmm. I try to be, I try to share the love. And I, respect all entrepreneurs, especially, the female entrepreneurs that are really trying to make a difference. Women-owned companies, try to be as supportive as I can. So, A, it's got to be delicious. B, it's got to be, healthy, gluten and dairy-free sourced. So these are all healthy products that I use, that I have here for sale. So we have it's like a little mini country store where you can come and get your, local olive oil. You can get your vinegars. You can get your local honey. Beef tallow skincare made locally. We have a mother-daughter that makes adorable hair clips and earrings and candles. It's all just, sweet things.
Yeah.
But yeah, where I source my ingredients, I go high and low, and I have standards. So I've tried a lot of stuff, and I only use the stuff that tastes absolutely amazing. Otherwise, I don't bother. Because everything that I make has to, it has my name on it, number one. Number two, and I want everybody to be dazzled. So, to be gluten and dairy free, I have to know my products. So my vegan cheeses, the vegan cream cheese, the organic tomato basil sauce, all of those things that we use. I'm very specific. I'm not willy-nilly about all that, even though it's like when Harry Met Sally, when there's like a high maintenance or low maintenance person. I come across as like low maintenance person, but I have standards. I have high standards.
That's great.
So,
what about, do you use local farmers?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
Like for your vegetables and stuff. I guess it would be super seasonal for some of them, but
it's super seasonal, unfortunately. But like in the fall, we have great relationships with the farmers in harvest time, and we use all, local apples and, source. And then, with our pulp, we've shared them with farmers, and they feed their chickens, and, people have backyard, hen houses and stuff. So
I'm so glad you brought that up, because it's such a big part of juicing is the waste products, and it's heavy and it's a lot.
It's heavy, it's a lot, but man, it's like fresh yumness. Mm-hmm. And a lot of these animals, certain times of the year, they're not eating grass. It's a lot of hay and whatnot. So when you throw something fresh out there, they kind of go nuts. And I did have a relationship with a regenerative farmer. And, back when things were a little slower and I could, drop off some, scraps. But, the piggies and the cows, they loved it. And the chickens, of course. But we have people that come and go and, grab stuff. And so I try to share the love.
Yeah.
And try to not be wasteful, but, what are you going to do?
It's hard.
You
it's
can't
really
be perfect.
Hard.
And so... yeah, we try to do that,
You're like, most of us get to like 50%. You're getting 90%, so you're doing really well.
Thank you.
So, okay, final question. What's next for DTBW?
That's so fun. That's my husband, he just shudders because I'm always coming up with new ideas in which direction. I just, for me, and this is something that I use in my coaching too, which is keep your vibration high, right? Always, look to the positives. Always look for the positives. Always do things to lift your spirits, lift your mood, self-care, keep your vibration high, and then the opportunities will avail themselves to you. So what I'm looking at going forward is I would love to have more shops. Oh my gosh. Because, we're such a unicorn, that the gluten and dairy free with all the fun foods and drinks, and it's a special business. So I'd like to have, more shops, maybe a franchise down the road. Who knows? I don't know. Heck, the state of Pennsylvania considers me a chain already.
Two, well, three,
I
I
have
guess.
three
Yeah.
licenses. So they're like, yeah, well, yeah, so I don't know. But there's also, we have a lot of signature products, like, the things that we make, and people want them. So there's also like, that's a whole nother animal, packaging and licensing in that area. So I don't know. So you never know what's coming up next. I'm just hoping that just keep positive and just stay the course, and hopefully there'll be an opportunity that pops my way, and then I'll just take it from there. And I always pivot, go this way really fast. If something gets in your way, turn.
You're like a Roomba.
It's from like a Roomba. It's like there was a movie in the 80s. It's called Better Off Dead, and that was the running gag in the movie, was skiing this ski run from the glacier called the K-12. And it was, the running advice through the whole thing was, go this way really fast. If something gets in your way, turn. And that's sort of, I don't know, morphed that into my business philosophy, which just go this way really fast. If something gets in your way, pivot, turn, do something else. Because even if you go straight ahead and you think you want something, right? You think you want something, you want this direction, you want this to happen. And there's resistance, right? Don't bang your head against the wall. Look up. Look to the side. Look around. There's opportunities everywhere. So maybe it's not for you at that moment. So pivot. There's another thing that's waiting for you. Another opportunity that's waiting. And that's how I've been running my life, and it seems to work.
That's great advice. I love that so much.
Yeah, just again. But if you're, if you get fixated on something and you're, singularly focused, you're missing out on all of these things that are like, hello, we're over here, opportunities. So, when you feel that resistance, or you feel that there's something that's like thwarting you from something that you're looking forward to, it's not meant for you at that time.
Where can people find you?
Yeah. Okay. So on Instagram is Desire to Be Well. You can find the various juiceries on Facebook. Desire to Be Well Juicery South Point, Desire to Be Well Juicery Friends of Desire to Be Well. Lots of different pages. Sandi at desiretobewell.com.
And desiretobewell.com is your website, so they can go there. And where can people find your book? On your website, I'm guessing.
Yes. You can order through my website. You can get them at the shops, of course. You can order through Amazon. Desire to Be Well, Recipes and Wellness for Health and Happiness is the name of the book. And Barnes & Noble online.
And come to the shop.
Come to the shop. I'll autograph it for you. And you can try some of the recipes. You can try some of the mousse. You can try the caprese pizza that's coming up when the tomatoes are ripe. And
oh, so good. It's almost tomato season. I guess
know.
They just started coming last week at the farmer's market.
Mm-hmm. But the caprese pizza is amazing.
Okay.
We have tabletop basil outside, so you can shred up, extra basil if you want. Yeah, it's fun.
Nice. Well, Sandi Kern, thank you so much for being on With Bowl and Spoon.
What a joy.
It was such a pleasure talking with you.
Such a pleasure to be here. Thank you so much for listening, everybody. Come by and see my shops. I'll give you a squeeze. Ta-dum-bum.
Everyone knows that food is cool. No secret. Eat that food with a bowl and spoon. Take that spoon. Everyone knows that food is cool. No secret. Eat that food with a bowl and spoon. Take that spoon.
With Bowl and Spoon is written, produced and hosted by Shelley Danko Day. Original theme song was written and performed by Paul LeBreeze and friends. You can listen to With Bowl and Spoon wherever you get your podcasts. Don't forget to subscribe, like, review and share. Follow us and send us questions or messages on Facebook and Instagram at With Bowl and Spoon. Thanks for listening.